We start the issue in January 2024 on a snowy, cloudy day in New York City, where we see an older Peter Parker. He has a full beard grown, glasses to guide the eyes, and some wrinkles. This is the Peter from this universe, a grown man, something that we are not used to, with a family, a daughter, and son, all eating breakfast, while Peter gets coffee. As we see May Parker playing with a ball, but Peter is quick to let her without it. I gotta say, Tiger, looks like you need it, as we finally see Mary Jane Watson for the first time looking as hot as ever. She asks Peter how his night went. Had trouble sleeping, says Peter. Wanna talk about it, asks MJ. Yes, maybe later, as right now, Peter has to go to work. The Daily Bugle, of course. This version of Peter also works here. Parker, yells Jonah Jameson, looking for him. But we found out that the actual Parker that he is looking for is Ben Parker, who is the managing editor at the Bugle. So this version of Ben Parker is alive. Jonah tells Ben that the meeting they have today is at 4. He asks him if Ben is going to make it, as Ben reassures him that he will be. As Peter shows up inside the office to pick up Ben, "You're late," says Ben, as the two gather their things to leave. "Wait," says Jonah. "You need a tie, Peter." As Jonah untied his to give it to Peter. He goes on saying that Uncle Ben is one of the toughest person he has ever met, as it shows that there is great respect between these two, Ben and Jonah. Now, we're in the street of New York City on this snowy day. Everyone is wondering if you're okay, asks Peter. "You won't talk about what happened. You haven't said anything on how you feel." Ben says that it has been 20 years since Peter has been living with them, as Peter's parents passed away when he was 15. There isn't a day in which Peter does not think about them. "Well, that is exactly how I feel about this," says Ben, as we see that they are attending an event, or more like a memorial. Well, we see the name May Parker in one of the murals. So May is dead, as we see Matt Murdock coming up speaking on the podium, saying that this was an act of terror committed by Stark, and that many people died. That is the reason why they have gathered to honor them today. As he introduces the next speaker, saying that 2 people from his life are on that wall, Norman and Emily Osborn, as we see their son Harry taking the podium, speaking about how his father taught him this crucial thing as a child, spending time with him, teaching Harry to throw a baseball. Now, he will never be able to do that. After the event, we see Harry shaking hands with Ben, as MJ and Parker looks on. Apparently, Ben interviewed Norman years ago and still didn't get to know him well. As Ben and Peter get back to the Bugle, they see that they are late for the meeting. When they arrive, they see an angry Jameson yelling, "I quit." Ben tells Peter to go to his desk as Ben walks into the meeting. Ready to take care of business? As Robbie tells Ben that there's going to be some changes to the editorial at the paper. There has been an ever-increasing complaints about some of the content, especially how the Stark terror was covered. So we're making changes, says Robbie. As the man makes his presence known in the meeting, "Please, at your good fortune," says Wilson Fisk. He offers the main job to Ben, as Jameson is out. Ben just smiles and walks out. As he finds Jameson in the elevator, he asks him, "So what are we gonna do now?" So I guess both men are out, hey? Later we see Wilson Fisk getting out of the car. A huge explosion happens, and for the first time ever, what appears to be the Green Goblin. Now we find ourselves at a bar with no name. 2 old friends are having a drink, as the two reflect on what just happened, as they are both talking about coming up with a name for their new news company. "We'll do it better this time. We'll do it right," says Ben. "We tell the truth." Ha ha ha, what a corny name, as Jameson laughed out loud. As the two contemplate their next move, Peter shows up. "What are you going to do?" wonders Peter. "You want a job?" asks Jameson. "You have money, says Peter. "Of course they don't. As of now, that's a day 2 problem," says Jameson. As Jameson leaves behind, Peter starts to get serious and asks Ben how he could possibly blow out his entire career in one afternoon. "Why wouldn't I do it?" "That was an easy choice," says Ben. "What's wrong?" asks Ben, as Peter goes on about his life and how things are great with MJ and the responsibility he has as a father. He tells Ben that he feels for the longest that something is wrong, like something is missing from his life, as Ben gives him one last advice before he leaves, saying that inaction is action. Don't spend your life waiting for something to happen. Make it happen. Wake up, he says. Later on, we find ourselves at Peter's apartment, as he has father duty putting the kids asleep, and then he joins MJ for a drink in the couch, as this is the perfect time to talk about Peter. "What's going on?" asks MJ. "I think I need a change," says Peter. MJ tells him that she supports him because he supported her last year when she quit her job to start her own business. "No, it's not that," says Peter, as MJ knows now. She advised him that he's been walking around with that clouds hanging over his head for years, and that he knows what he has to do. As Peter agrees, MJ says, "Go get them, Tiger." As we see Peter grabbing the ball that May Parker was playing with earlier in the issue, he goes up to the roof, and we switch to last night, where we see Peter working late, and a box suddenly throws out electricity, calling to Peter, "Peter, Peter," as Iron Man or Iron Lad shows up, aka Tony Stark, as a hologram, saying that this message is from 6 months into the future, as he presents a ball to Peter. "20 years ago, you were supposed to be bitten by a spider. This would have given you powers. Instead, a great evil traveled through time and erased all heroes, including you. He did this in order to create his society." Of course, we know that he is talking about the Maker, the greatest evil we have ever seen in the Marvel Universe. He robbed Peter of his destiny and many other heroes. Now in current time, back to the rooftop, as Peter reminisces about Tony's speech, he opens up the ball, where we see the radioactive spider. "Wake up," says Uncle Ben, as Peter remembers. "Get them, Tiger," says MJ. The spider goes on to bite Peter, and at the same time gives Peter his destinies back. At the end, we see him with a full black suit that was provided by Tony Stark. And that is the issue. Peter finally got his destiny back. Thank you for watching. If you like it, please sub and like. Truly appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Alright guys, what is up? Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 3 by Hickman and Chichetto. Do me a quick favor, join us, subscribe. This community is growing and we need you. Subscribe and join this awesome community. Alright, issue number 3. We're jumping in New York City in March with Mary Jane and her son, who are second guessing what Peter Parker and his daughter are talking about. Unfortunately for them, it is their little secret, as we have seen in the previous issue where May Parker, the daughter, found out Peter's secret identity. And they're just kind of talking, and Mary Jane is asking them, what are you guys talking about? And they're basically saying that it's nothing, it's nothing at all, That's what May Parker is saying. So then Mary Jane and her son walks out because she's gonna buy him some shoes, And then right when those two walk out, Peter and May Parker are like, all right, you wanna, and they're planning something. So they're definitely scheming for something. Now we find them out in the outside in a rooftop of New York City, where basically the Peter Parker, you remember the last time we saw him, he had the all black suit. This time he's trying on different suit, and that's basically what they were talking about. He's trying on the black suit, which I have to say, the black suit looks amazing. And then he has another suit where he's wearing some type of red hoodie, a red Spiderman collar, and a blue Spiderman collar. And he's asking his daughter if she likes any of these, and she's like, no. And of course, as we know it from the covers, he finally wears the authentic Spider-Man costume, right? The blue and red. And this is the one that she picks. And as we see them picking the costume for Peter, he flies out with her in her shoulder, in his shoulder, and they're flying out of the building. And I just, the drawing just makes it so much better. The justice of the talented Chichito, he's making this costume a lot of justice. It looks really, really amazing. Now, furthermore, we're moving on into a New York City empty building, and we find Ben Parker and Jonah Jameson where, they're renting out an office, and it looks like they're gonna create their own, journalist office. And basically, Peter walks in with a gift, a plant, and he's like, what are you guys doing? This place looks like a dump, right? And he's like, that's, J. Jonah Jameson is saying, this is the only budget that we could afford, this is what we have. And then he looks around and he sees, pictures of Wilson Fisk and a map. And basically they're telling Peter that this is a map where all the location of that Wilson Fisk owns has been hit by this green goblin. This is the first time that we're basically hearing about Green Goblin hitting those locations, and nobody knows him. But Peter is like, nah, I haven't heard about that guy, but I know a guy with a black suit. He's pretty cool, right? And they're just looking at him, and there's a quiet moment there. But basically, it's funny because every single location are owned by Wilson Fisk, and the Green Goblin has been hating all of them, so he's not friend with Fisk. And Ben and Jameson are, they're just looking at it, thinking that Fisk is not such a good guy. He's probably a bad guy, right? So then we move on into a rooftop with Spider-Man, and he's just, he wants to fight crime, but he's waiting for a crime to happen, and he's just sitting there with donuts, the rain, and he's like, I quit. This was a terrible idea. Nothing's gonna happen. And next thing you know, boom, you see the Green Goblin fighting an enemy that we all know from the main universe, and that enemy is Bullseye. I have to say, I like the costume in Bullseye on this one. He looks pretty cool. And for those of you who don't know who Bullseye is, he's basically a guy that throws cards, but his aim is like impeccable. He can hit anything that he's aiming at, and this time he hits the Goblin's weapon, and it explodes on his hand, and they're fighting, and it looks like Bullseye is getting the better of him, of the Goblin, and he's about to do the final coup d'etat to the Green Goblin, and that's when Peter interferes. He comes in, and Bullseye's like, who are you? They're still fighting, and Spider-Man is fighting back, but then Bullseye sets a trap, and he's like, I wasn't aiming at you. Next thing you know, there's this bridge tower that falls right into Peter Parker, but then he gets zapped by the Green Goblin. Bullseye gets zapped, and again, His aim is impeccable, and all the cards are flying out, hitting their intended target. Now, Bullseye's looking at him and he's like, I'm gonna finish you. This is over, I'm a predator and I'm gonna finish you. Next thing you know, Peter, hits him in the back. This is a nice picture, by the way. A nice image. And again, Chichetta Art does this comic, takes it to the next level and does the costumes justice, even better, I will say. And next thing you know, it's like, oh, they got him. And the Green Goblin, just imprison Bullseyes and take him away from with his little ship here. And next thing you know, Green Goblin is talking to Peter and saying, who are you? And Peter, he doesn't want to say who he is, right? And then he clicks something. The Green Goblin clicks the middle part of his chest, a button, and next it's deactivating Peter's suit. It's almost like a symbiote, but it's deactivating his mask. And next thing you know, Peter is, his face is all naked and he's showing himself. And the Goblin does the same thing. And he's like, hi, I'm Harry. And I'm Peter. And this is the first time that those two meet. And it's funny because, like, as you know, in the main universe, these two are best friends. They had a couple fights here and there before, but they're truly best friends in the main 616 universe. And on this, this universe, Ultimate Universe, this is the first time they meet. And it looks like they're still gonna be friends, because Harry's like, hey, wanna go and grab a drink and talk about it? And Peter's like, sure. And that is it for this issue here. It's I will say that it's a great issue. I really liked it. Like I said, the drawing is impeccable. The storyline is still developing, but it's interesting, how things are so different from the main universe. I mean, Ben Parker's alive, Peter Parker is married, Harry Osborn's the Green Goblin. Very, very different, but also similar, right? But anyway, guys, this is it for me. I hope you enjoyed it. Click the like, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace out. Hey, what is up, guys? Happy new comic book day. This is Comic Hour, and we are reviewing Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 4. Do me a quick favor and subscribe. Now, if you haven't read Ultimate Spider-Man issue 3, there's a link above here. Click it. Go there so you could get up to date with the new issue here. But basically, Ultimate Spider-Man issue 4 by Hickman, guest artist Messina and Wilson. We are starting here, and I like it because this is the month of April, and it seems that Ultimate Spider-Man is parallel to our world, which is the month of April. So they're keeping up with the real world time, which is pretty interesting. I don't know if Marvel has ever done this before, but we're here at a restaurant called Torre, and basically MJ and Peter Parker here are waiting for the people who invited them, quite honestly, and they're all dressed up, and they're just being their silly self. They're enjoying themselves, and there he walks in, Harry Osborn, the Green Goblin in this universe. And he's late, but classy as usual, with the probably $500 suit that he has, and he's wearing his original color, green tie, looking good. And look, it seems like Harry invited them to dinner, and it seems like a business type of dinner, but it's not. Obviously these two met each other in the last issue, and they're waiting for Harry's guests here. Obviously Peter is introducing MJ for the first time to Harry Osborn, and it's nice to meet each other. Right now, Harry is basically being Harry, congratulating MJ on her new business venture. Obviously she is, she is a model, but she's venturing into the marketing world, PR world, so to say. And here is Harry Osborn's guest, and he says, "Peter, MJ, this is my wife." And look who is there, Gwen Stacy from this universe, which is Harry Osborn's wife, and they're introducing themselves, and they are gonna go for dinner, but she looks like a businesswoman, executive type of businesswoman that there is in New York City, right? Now, we are moving on here to dinner. Obviously, they're having great food. This is Harry Osborn's choice, so, it's something that he can afford. He probably will take the bill, so to say. Now, they're, talking, socializing about the chef and the food. If the chef is from Argentina, Gwen Stacy here says Uruguay, and, they talk about, why does Harry and Gwen Stacy have children, and they say that they haven't. They've been together for over 8 years, and they don't have any children together. But MJ and Peter, they have children together, and obviously this conversation is leading on to what MJ is doing now, which is a PR firm. She used to be a model, as she's saying, and then she went into different venture with different companies, and she found herself, wanting to start her own thing. Very interesting here. Now, they eventually talk about Ben Parker and Jonah Jameson's venture of a news outlet. Now, MJ is trying to help them out. She actually, wants to be, she's the partner with them, and she's telling that these old school people that, it should be digital. It shouldn't be a physical paper, because the physical paper is, outdated and it's old, but, everything's going digital now. And a lot of people don't, they can't get used to that idea, especially Jonah and Ben Parker here, in which, we switch to the scene where they're babysitting Parker's kid, and they're going to call the news outlet the paper, and it's ironic because they call it the paper, but it's all digital, and they're talking about it here. And May Parker here, she's giving Jonah Jameson the evil eye and says, "Uncle Ben, is he going to be leaving soon?" And then we switch back to the dinner, and of course they're talking about the name of the news outlet. The paper sounds great. Harry here says, "I know I get up every day and say to myself, what I really need in my life is more news. I mean, I just love it so much." And he's, he sounds arrogant, and Gwen is like, "You're being rude, Harry." "I'm joking, dear." That's what he says. And, obviously he's a corporate guy here. And, Parker and MJ are just family-oriented people. So now they move on into taking a picture of the Spiderman, and Gwen is asking, Peter here, "Oh, you've seen those pictures? They look nice." And Peter's like, "Yeah, I take them. I just shoot and point. Very easy, And it's a full-blown conversation here where Gwen here, she goes on about it, like, he seems like a good guy, but is he a bad guy or a good guy? I think if he's a good guy, the world is not ready for that. They're always looking for something to root against, but they go on, and then basically MJ's going to the bathroom, and Gwen Stacy is joining her, and they're leaving. And then we switch back here to Ben Parker and the kids. Jonah Jameson left, and the boy here is saying, I like the idea of your paper, your news outlet being digital. And Ben is asking, telling the son here, "Do you like Jonah Jameson and stuff?" And he's like, "Yeah, he's not bad, because May Parker absolutely hates him." and then they go out and hang out together. You know, he doesn't want to watch TV because he reads a lot. That's what the Peter's kid is saying here. Now we move on into a scene here in the bathroom with Gwen Stacy and MJ, where Gwen is basically telling MJ that, you know, she's looking to partner up with somebody. Her company is like, you know, there's too much money. She gave her money to a lot of nonprofits, but she's looking to pour that money somewhere. And MJ's like, how can I help, you know? And Gwen here is asking for basically a meeting with Ben Parker and Jonah Jameson. You know, she might give them the funding that they need. And she's like, oh yeah, that sounds great. That's why MJ's like, you know, definitely will do that. And Gwen Stacy was like, I'm kind of in the mood to see if I can launch a pirate ship. So, you know, launching something big with the old men's, you know, and I think that's the funding that they need, basically. But then we go back to Harry and Peter here, and basically Harry is like questioning Parker, saying, you haven't told her that you're Spider-Man yet. I haven't told MJ, you know. And he's like, wait, did you tell your wife Gwen that I'm Spider-Man? He's like, yeah. He's like, wow, how much? Everything. Oh God, Harry, what are you thinking? You know, they're talking about money here. And he's like, you know, she's my wife. I can give her whatever she wants, you know. But Harry is like calling out Peter, like, oh, you know, you're a good guy, and you know, you have abilities as Spider-Man, and the world needs you. So definitely continue doing that. You know, I don't have abilities like you. I just have an armor. And Peter is like, it feels right to you know, to fight for justice because of these abilities. And Harry's like, we're gonna save the world. You know, let's do it together. You know. Are they going to be a tag team? Are they going to be partnerships? We don't know, right? But here it says, with great power, Peter, comes great responsibilities. So he wants Peter to step up, you know. It's such a gift, but only if you use it. And then, you know, that was the end of the dinner. And basically, we go back here on the street with Peter and MJ, and they're walking, and they're like scary people, right? What'd you think? She's like, yes, it was like equal parts too personal and too intense, but with really great food. Peter says here, what'd you think of what they were saying? MJ's like, about the world needing heroes. And MJ's like, I already got my hero, man. It's you, Peter, you know, I got you. And that is the comic. Not much going on, guys, on this issue. It was basically, it should be called a dinner date. That's what the issue was all about. A lot of conversation, not much going on, but overall, you know, great storyline. And it looks like there's going to be partnerships and, you know, things like that, business-wise and personally. But I quite don't know what Harry Osborn's intention is. Is he a good guy or is he a bad guy? Or is he using Peter because of Peter's abilities? You know, we'll wait and have to see about that. And well, that's it. And make sure that you check out my previous videos on Ultimate Spider-Man. And also, if you want more contents, join my Patrons. You know, I just put it up a couple days ago. Make sure you check that out. And yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace out. What is up, guys? Welcome to Comic Hour. This is for Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 5 by Hickman, Messina, and Wilson. Click the sub and like. Thank you. Now, if you need to catch up, click the link above and watch that video, and then come back here to watch this video. Now, we start the issue here with a flashback from months ago at a cocktail party where it seems Norman Osborn is waiting for his son's arrival to the party. Norman, who is barely late for anything, is aggravated that his son Harry is late. Norman gets him on the phone. Hey Dad, I'm sorry. Thought I called Mom. Says Harry. Where are you? Says Norman. Apparently, they have an important meeting with some business folks. And Harry being late does not help his case, as Norman reminds him of what name he bears, the Osborn. As Norman explains to his son that he has great expectation of him, for him to finally grow to the man he was always meant to be, and not to stay a little boy. We are all waiting for you, Harry, says his dad. And kaboom! Explosions. That will be the last time Harry hears his dad's voice. As you know, this has become the famous explosion in which a young Tony Stark was blamed for. But it was truly the making of the Maker, the ultimate bad guy in the Marvel Universe right now. They orchestrated the explosion, and now we know that it killed Emily and Norman Osborn. And now we find out why Harry is doing what he's doing, a quest for justice, to find his daddy's killer. Now, we move to a few weeks later. Harry and Gwen are talking to his father's former attorney. Basically, the lawyer is saying that Harry and Gwen inherited Norman's trust fund and assets. And the last thing he says is that a card was delivered for Harry this morning. They both don't know what it means, but the lawyer knows who it's from. The next day, Harry shows up to a place with the card on hand, presenting it as a pass, where security pats him down. Well, I'm here, he says, as we see the Kingpin Wilson Fisk enjoying a drink at a pool. It looks like it's the first time that these two meet. Harry tells Kingpin that with Stark Industry gone, Wilson is now the governor and Kingpin of New York. And with that, the Kingpin toasts a drink. Yes, I've been named, and next week I will be officially elevated to both positions, says Kingpin. Kingpin tells Harry that he needs a favor from him. As Harry tries to explain that he is not his father, and that he doesn't have his father's influence, Kingpin says that he wants the remnants of the Stark and Stein company wiped off, as Harry tells him that he can't do anything. But Fisk always has a master plan, and that plan will be to sell those assets to Harry to eliminate whoever was against the Kingpin. 2 weeks later, Harry gets into the Stark secret base with the Ultimate Universe version of Otto Octavius and Gwen. As the first thing they see is Iron Man's suits, one of which was the ultimate suit from the original Ultimate Universe. Wow, straight down the middle right there. The base is powered by an arc reactor, says Otto. This was very well put together, as Gwen debates with Harry that the real treasure is if they found secret data sources. Otto says that it's on the computer, but it's encrypted with a protected password, as Gwen says that she will get a team to decrypt the site. However, in an instant, Otto is able to solve the password. It's cliche. The password is Anthony. That's all. And bang, they have access to all the files, suit designs, and the history folder. You're gonna need an NDA to play with your new toys, Otto says Gwen, with eagerness. Otto says, where do I sign? Now, we move on to 4 months ago, and there we now know the origin of the Ultimate Goblin suit, made out of the Iron Man designs by Otto Octavius, also creating the bombs for Harry. Then we see a dark mask. What's that, says Harry. I have no idea, but it shows up on the network, says Otto. Otto explained that the network is on the helmet inside of it, and when Harry puts it on, he sees the network. A map with red dots. All those dots represent Star Tech. They keep on appearing new signals, as Harry and Otto don't know what they are meant for. We are just here left hanging as readers. Now, 3 months ago, as we see the Shocker tricking Spiderman back in issue 2, I believe, and he shocked him Now we see what happened when Harry, as the Green Goblin, chased after him, as Shocker is ready to use his glove to electromagnetically take down the Goblin. The Goblin tech shuts his power down. Harry says that he's here for the gloves and that Shocker can keep the money. Harry wants to know where he found those gloves. As Shocker describes, I was robbing this guy's apartment. Turns out he must have just died, had a heart attack or something. Anyway, there was this light and that terrorist kid, Stark, talking, and then the light stopped and these gloves were just sitting there. So I took them. So Stark is alive, as Harry finds out. But Shocker's surprise attack on Harry, but Harry again shuts him down, knocks him unconscious, and leaves. Now, 2 months ago, we see Harry having the first drink with Peter. Back when they met, and Harry asked him for a drink. Remember that? I believe it's issue 3. Here they are. This is where they first got to know each other, as Harry asks if Peter is up for dinner, as they did have dinner in the last issue, as you may have remembered. Now Peter tells Harry that he knows him well, but Harry is quick to point out that this is just marketing, that he really doesn't know who the real Harry is, and that Harry is just a public persona. As this brings out Peter's curiosity, Harry asks Peter if he saw Stark and if Stark gave him the suit. Peter says yes, and that he got Stark accompanied by some bad people who probably killed his parents. Evil people, he says. As you know, these people are the Maker Council, who inherited different universe and are the main cause of this infamous explosion that killed several people. Now Harry is quick to say that now he has a new job and asks Peter if he knew why Stark picked him. Peter says that Stark told him that he was supposed to be a hero, which was stolen from the bad people. As you know, the Maker went to all these universes and changed the course of history so that heroes won't get the powers. Peter says that as a hero, they're going to do something about this, as Harry agrees. Now in current time, in May, you may remember the battle that Spiderman and Goblin had with Bullseyes. Now we see the ramification of that fight, as Harry kept Bullseye as prisoner to question him in an unknown location. Pain is part of the process, says Bullseye. What happened to your eye, says Harry, as Bullseye explained that he tore it out in solidarity with his brothers and sisters. Harry wants answer, but it looks like Bullseye won't budge, as he goes on to talk about the cost of being a hero. When a hero loses something of importance, then we get to see what they really are, he says. As Harry puts on his mask, he is reminded of what his father always asked of him, the difference between a boy and a man. Am I a boy or a man? I guess we're going to find out, says Harry, who is ready to dish out some pain to Bullseyes for some answers. And that is the issue. What a good issue, very informal, and we are getting a clearer picture of what is happening now. A good background issue for Harry, for sure. I can't wait to see if Peter and Harry will go against the real bad guy, the Maker. Bring them to the 616 universe. We want to see this, seriously. I will die to see them interact with 616 characters. That will be something, right guys? Now make it happen, Marvel. Click the link, sub. Thank you for watching, and I will see you all next time. Peace out.
What is up? What is up? You know what time it is? It is time for Comic Hour. Happy new comic book day on this beautiful Wednesday. We are reviewing Ultimate Spider-Man issue number 6 by Jonathan Hickman, and Chicharito is back. Yes, the artist that made this Ultimate Spider-Man universe come alive is finally back drawing for us. And of course, let's not forget about Wilson. Sub and like. Thank you for that, guys. Now, if you need to catch up, click the link below above and come back and watch this video. Now, we start the issue with a famous building called the Flatiron Building in New York. I'm sure if you came to visit New York, you have seen it before. Very famous building. And below that, it says that this is the month of June. Again, this is great because this is like real time. They are following the real time in reality. Truly makes you feel like you are living these Spider-Man moments live, months to months. Good job, Marvel. Good job. Now, Dad, Peter, what happened to your face? Says Peter Parker's family, as we see Parker with a beat-up face. Oh, you know how clumsy I can be, says Parker, as the family keeps asking Parker, what happened? MJ goes and gets him an ice pack. Peter refers to his old Parker luck. What is the Parker luck? Have you guys ever wondered? I'm sure if you're a Spidey fan, you know what that is. But basically, it's a case of bad luck when things go right for Peter. When it seems like everything is under control, there is always something or someone that comes up and causes a problem in Peter's life. That is truly the definition of the Parker's luck. That good old Parker's luck. Now, May, she almost spilled the bean by saying, Dad, you gotta be a superhero, and then she stopped. I'm sorry, Dad, she says. It's okay, May, Peter says. What is she talking about? Asks MJ, as we switch to last night at the Fisk building. Perhaps we will get answers now, as we see both heroes, Harry and Spidey. They are ready to jump in, the building and, question Wilson Fisk. Are you ready? Asks Harry. I guess, says Spider-Man. What do you mean, you guess? Says Harry. I never broke into a man's house before, says Peter. As you can see, the inexperience of Spider-Man is showing. This is not the amazing Spider-Man who we're used to, who got his power at a young age and has countless amount of adventures. This is the ultimate Spider-Man who got his power recently at an older age with limited experience being a superhero. And don't use my real name while wearing costume, says Peter. We should use code name. You're the Green Goblin. Everybody calls you the Green Goblin. The media, the internet. I kinda like Green Goblin, says Harry. Let's go, as the two heroes jump off the building and into Fisk's floor. But Fisk isn't surprised at all. He's calm as a bird, as he mentions that he has camera all over Manhattan and has been waiting for this moment forever, when the two heroes will pay him a visit. What do you want? Harry answers by saying that they know that Fisk answers to a greater power or a bigger boss, and they are here to find out who that is. As you may remember, Harry on the last issue, he took Bullseye as hostage to torture him and to question him. It looks like he got some info out of him, but Fisk is quick to say that this wasn't really his guy, as Fisk pushes a button and throws a table at Harry, knocking the goblin senseless against the wall. Spidey is very quick to back up Harry. He jumped in and webbed Fisk's face and attacked him. But Fisk is so strong and pushes Spidey away, as we see Harry coming back throwing a goblin ball that explodes into Fisk's face, but to no effect. Wow, it looks like this version of Wilson Fisk has special abilities, as you see the dark ink on his skin. Some self-improvement, as he calls it, charging towards Harry, punching him almost to death, where Harry could be seen here saying, "Oh God." But Spidey is backing his friend up, but to no match. Fisk is so strong. He's an ultra-human being with ultra-human strength, as he beats him up to a pulp, while Harry calls for his glider to come and save them, knocking Fisk out and our hero quickly jumping into it. Defeated, they are going home. As you can see, the inexperience is causing real problems for our heroes. What are now, they're fighting superhuman enemies now. That's, they need that experience. Love it, Marvel, love it. And that is the story of how Peter got his butt kicked, says Peter to his family as we return to modern time. As Peter explained that the person he broke into was a very bad man. Are you gonna fight again? Asked May. We can't let him go on doing bad things, says Peter. As MJ looks at Peter in worry, she asks, are you safe? Are we safe? As you know, Peter in this universe is not alone. He has a whole family to care for. With these power, there are greater responsibilities now. And what do you know about Peter's luck? The one close to him are never safe. Peter asked the family to keep this as a family secret. I didn't tell anyone for 4 whole months, says May Parker. As you know, she was the first one to find out when one night Peter came home eating while wearing his costume. She caught him eating. That's how she found out. Alright, off to bed you two, says Peter. Me and Mom need to talk for a bit. As his son walks away, he tells Peter, Dad, please be careful. Which leaves MJ and Peter alone. And to Peter's surprise, MJ is not mad at him at all for not telling him. She wishes that he would have told her a long time before now. But anyway, he asks her, you want to see the suit? Says an eager Peter. And he's wearing the suit now. What do you think? Asks Spidey. So what are we supposed to call you? As Peter answers saying that she needs to come up for a name, as he has no idea himself. As MJ touches Peter's chest with the spider symbol there, she says, isn't it obvious? You're Spider-Man. As we see the couple swinging across the city. But what destiny awaits them? As we all know, if the enemies of Peter ever find out he was married with kids, his family will never be safe. Even some of them could die. As this is an alternate universe, I wouldn't be surprised if Marvel decides to kill those characters, or many other characters left and right. As you know, the original Ultimate Universe, they didn't care at all, and most characters in that original universe died, or they were just cancelled. But hey, that is the issue. If you like the video, please do me a good favor. We're a growing community. Help me out with the like and the sub. This issue I thought was decent, It really showed us to the fans, the inexperience of this Spider-Man, what is going to happen next, I mean, he's inexperienced, he's jumping into a universe full of enemies, and, and I'm not even going to mention, the Maker, who's like basically in prison right now, and he's going to get out in 2 years because of that dome that he's stuck in. I'm not even going to mention him. That's 2 years ahead. But yeah, there's greater power out there that Spidey has no idea he is facing, and he doesn't have the experience either. So he might be in trouble, guys. He might be in trouble. But anyway, make sure you check out my next video on Ultimate Spider-Man. I'll see you all next time. Take care and peace out.